Hi everyone, this is Professor Sanchez, and I want to talk a little bit about what we've achieved so far and where we're headed with our research project. Congratulations, we've had some accomplishments so far. We've written 2 essays, we've read, thought about, and written about happiness. We have learned about MLA formatting, works cited pages, in-text citations, which we will continue to learn more about. We've learned about incorporating sources and also how to make our verbs stronger and our sentences more concise. So we have done a lot in these weeks at the beginning of the semester. You're going to notice that things are going to shift a bit in the course in terms of the way the workload goes. The beginning of the semester I describe as a gauntlet of essays where we just practice, review, practice, review, practice, review, learn some new things. And now we're going to apply those things working through a longer essay and research project. So for the rest of the semester, we are going to write a 6 to 8 page research paper. We're going to slow this paper down, so we're going to take the whole rest of the semester to write it. And I'm going to take you through each individual step of the process, from the research proposal and choosing a topic all the way to submitting your final draft. So what we'll do is you'll submit your topic proposal, I'll give you some feedback, then we'll learn how to find and evaluate sources, how to collect them and read them. You'll create an outline, you'll create a draft, then you'll have about 2 weeks to revise and edit your paper before you submit the final draft to me. So that's how the rest of the semester will look week by week. In the overview, you'll see a breakdown of what we'll be doing every single week. So as we approach this, some things that you might want to think about are, what are you learning about your own happiness or the happiness of those around you? Because sometimes when you reflect on happiness and your own happiness, you start to see things in other people in your life. How have new ideas impacted your life? So have you incorporated any of these ideas into your life or seen them in your life more dramatically since you've learned about them? And have you set any new happiness related intentions for your life? Like, are you trying to actively work on anything? Are you trying to experience more flow? Are you trying to say what you're grateful for every day? These little things can make a difference. So think about those things as you're coming up with a topic. Now, in terms of your topic, you want your topic to be in question form because you don't know the answer yet. And that will help you with research because your research is intended to answer your question. You also want to have a narrow lens. So we don't want to have a question that is too big that we could write a whole book on it or that thousands of books have been written on it. Because in that case, you're not going to be able to fit all that into a 6 to 8 page paper. Now, the psychology of students, which I understand, is that you want to pick a wide topic because 6 to 8 pages sounds long and you want to have enough stuff to write about. But it actually works the other way in that it makes it more stressful because you have to cover more content and it's hard to fit it all in. So it actually becomes too overwhelming to research because it's too much. So that's why having a narrower lens will really help you with not only doing your research, but also writing your paper and focusing on one topic. So choose a narrower topic versus a wider topic. In terms of choosing a topic, there are a few routes you can go. So some of you might have found something that interested you from the semester so far that you want to build upon and you want to learn more about. That's completely fine. Other people, let me give you an example. Like maybe some of you were really fascinated by positive interventions for increasing happiness and you want to write about one of those in particular. Like let's say you want to look at fun versus philanthropy and you want to do like a whole paper on philanthropy and how that gives you more happiness than pleasure. That would be fine. Another route that people take is they pick something very personal to them. For instance, in the past, I had a student who was newly diagnosed with diabetes, write about finding happiness through dealing with health issues with diabetes. So that would be a way that you could make it very personal. I saw another person is writing about this idea of being a perfectionist and how perfectionism can impact your happiness in a negative way. maybe even a positive way too. Who knows what the research will tell you. But so you can write about something that's very personal to you that will help you process something. Another route you can take is pick something that's disconnected from you. For instance, I've had a student in the past write about the culture of people in Japan who get so overwhelmed that they disappear from life. Essentially, they live in seclusion and essentially become hermits because the world and the stress and the was too overwhelming for them. So they're called the missing people, and they sort of hide away to because the world is too stressful for them and they want to find happiness in another way. So there are lots of ways that you can go about this when you're choosing a topic. The most important thing is that you pick something that you're interested in and that you want to learn more about, because you're going to be choosing your topic and your readings for the rest of the semester. So pick something that you're like, I would like to actually read articles on this topic. Also, pick something that you don't know everything about. It would be really boring to write about something that you already know the answer to. If you think you know the answer, you have a hypothesis and you want to test it, that's fine. But I don't want you to write about something that you're already an expert in, because that's not going to be interesting in terms of doing the research. All right, so we are not going to be physically in class, so excuse this PowerPoint that says bring a list of questions and terms to class, but you're going to bring a list of questions and terms to your research proposal this week. So I wanted to give you an example of a research question. So a research question would be, how does social media impact happiness? Now, I would say that's sort of a wide question in that we could narrow it in a lot of ways. For instance, we could talk about how does the comparing mind impact happiness on social media? Or how does Instagram specifically affect happiness? So there are some ways to narrow it, but this is an example of how you would put it in question form. And then the search terms are words that you would pick. So two search terms that you definitely would want to have for this question are the words social media and happiness. So you want to look in your question and see what words are there. Then you want to think about what are some synonyms for these things. So something like well-being would be a synonym for happiness that comes up a lot in research. Synonyms for social media might be something like Facebook or Twitter. We also might want to look at, if we type in happiness and social media, we might not find as much as if we type in anxiety and social media, or sadness and social media, or depression and social media. We might find more sources looking at it that way. So sometimes it's helpful to do the opposite of happiness as well. So you'll need to come up with a main research question as well as some sub-questions for your research proposal that you're going to do this week. You'll see that there's a sample on the assignment page that you can check out. That student went all out with the research proposal. So you don't have to have the same number of sources that that student has, but I want you to get started thinking through, like, what are some potential sources you might use or places you might look for answers to your question. All right, I hope this was helpful in thinking through your topic, and I hope that you pick something that will be really interesting to you. And if it's interesting to you, I'm going to have so much fun reading it. So let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to reading your proposals. Have a good week.